Okay, I think we'll get started, and obviously everyone can join very soon. We're just going to go through the introduction. So welcome to the Helix webinar series. Today's session is on what's new in digital workplace. We ran an EMEA session last week, so this is a repeat for the US session. A couple of reminders for those that have or haven't been on any of these Zoom webinars. We will be using the Q&A section for you to put your questions in during this session. It's roughly going to be 60 to 70 minutes long, depending on how long it takes us to do the demo. What we are asking you to do is only use the Q&A, and we will at the end open up for live Q&A because we are going to be recording this. And in this session, there are some roadmap presentation slides that haven't been released. So to make this much easier for the recording, we will be running this session first and then answering your questions live at the end. So without further ado, I'm going to hand over to our two presenters. We have Deepak Rudra, our lead product manager, Rich Murphy, our senior solutions engineer. Rich will be doing the demo part and Deepak will be going through the roadmap piece. So Deepak, over to you.
Thanks, Sam, and good morning, good afternoon, everyone, from which part of the world you are. Thank you so much for joining. Some of you have already interacted with me. I'm product manager for Digital Workplace and Digital Workplace Catalog. I'm based out of US, and that's the whole reason I'm running this session separately for US time zone. We'll be talking about what's, in this session about what's new and what's on the future roadmap. I also have my colleague who's a pre-sales champion, and he has been working on a lot of ITSM and digital workplace assignments. So you have the right person, you have the right forum to talk about stuff, and then we'll be giving you a preview of what's coming up. So over to Rich for a quick introduction.
Hello, everyone. I'm happy to be here with you. I am a solution engineer in the pre-sales department. I specialize in the ITSM and digital workplace part of our solutions. I've been messing with this software for about 28 years now. So I've seen it grow from the very beginning all the way up until what we're going to be showing you today. So I'm looking forward to getting into this here in a few and showing you some of the new features.
Thanks, Rich. Let me quickly take everybody to the next slide. So as I said, we'll be talking about a real brief. We'll be talking about what's new that's already GA and what's on our future roadmap. When I say future roadmap, it's going to be like the immediate future, but not probably like another 1 year or 2 year. That's more of a strategy, but I really want to show you what's on our future roadmap, right? Which is an immediate future roadmap. So before we jump into the technical stuff, I would like to just put down some of the areas so that we, like some of the terminology so that you understand what is BMC's strategic initiatives and then where is BMC investing, right? So as you can see right at the top, you see empower the modern workforce. That's us, that's digital workplace and associated products, really, right? That's what we're going to be focusing on today's session. Other than that, BMC's strategic focus is on modern observability, which is, proactively identify problems in your infra and your network or data centers and how you soon fix them. So all are those kind of products falls into this particular strategy. Again, you have AI ops and AISM, which has been like our primary focus right from many years, which is around ITSM and monitoring tools, right? Additionally, on the left-hand side, what you see is lines of business and collaboration. So these are built on top of our products, right? The solutions, and these solutions help different processes in the company. For example, HR, finance, facilities, and other departments, right? So these departments cannot operate autonomously. They need IT support, right? So that's what we are doing. And a lot of these solutions, as you would see in Converge platform, will start utilizing DWP more and more. So you would see that closely integrated with all the products in this area. Now, to help you understand the terminology a little better, we will be focusing on employee experience, right? And what do we really mean by employee experience? A clarification on the terminology. It's how you make your workforce more productive and more engaged in this hybrid world, right? You are also in the age of millennials where everybody's on phone, everybody wants things quick and easy. They do not have time to basically sit for like 30 minutes on the phone to basically on a phone call with service desk to just raise a ticket or to just raise a request and get their stuff done. They also need access to the knowledge to get themselves, be self-serving themselves, right? So that's our mission statement. How do you basically help employees get their job done more conveniently and easily, right, with different channels and in hybrid world. So as we know, post pandemic, people, companies, many organizations started asking employees to come back, but it's not been 100% as before always. So it's still hybrid. People tend to make a balance between working remote and coming to office and collaboration. So that's what we are going to support with this employee experience initiative. Now, what does employee experience really comprises of? It's more theoretical, so that you basically understand our vision and our strategic direction, right? So, digital workplace, as you see on the top, plays the biggest role, right? Which helps in having your hybrid workforce do the self-service and get the help right at their fingertips. This is empowered by Digital Workplace Studio, which you may or may not have attended the session which we done recently, but or I may have, or my colleague may have done some other sessions, which basically helps you have microsites for each lines of businesses, right? So that you only show the content which is more focused. Additionally, the old things which had already been there, which are used extensively for for supporting employees, is my items and service health, location and floor maps, and collaboration has been a big support, right? Even at the time of when everybody was working remote, how do you collaborate, right? So digital experience has been topmost priority for the organizations, and that's how what we also focused on, having better collaboration and peer support. And this is also empowered, digital workplace is also empowered by multiple channels which can be integrated, which includes the virtual agent, and how you transition from virtual agent to live chat, so that you have the agent support right away if the bot is not able to help you. Additionally, irrespective of whatever channel you go, either you go into smart IT, either you go into digital workplace, or you go into chatbot, Helix virtual agent, you're going to have knowledge everywhere. So that's our initiative. Knowledge first approach is our initiative, that people be able to self-service themselves, right? So that's employee experience all about. Now, the digitization initiative that is supported by Digital Workplace, there are like three initiatives which are going to be supported by Digital Workplace. Modernizing the workforce, as I said, there you have all the generations from millennials to basically people those who are 50 and better, right? To basically support all of them. How can we do that? And Digital Workplace is a solution for that. And improving employee experience, as I mentioned, Studio plays a key role, which is available 21.3 onwards, which help you create microsites for different lines of businesses, which get them resources at their fingertips quickly, very targeted, very focused, not like previous versions where you have one single catalog, everything is available in a single catalog, and it takes you ton and ton of time to basically identify what you really want from that. And in the future, you will see how AI and AI and machine learning is going to help. I'm going to do, as a bonus, I'm going to show you some of the early previews of how it's going to be there in our product. We'll talk about it at a later stage. Then enterprise LOB digitalization, as I said, lines of businesses support is our key priority at this point. How do you, not only just IT, it's, the digital support is not only restricted to IT anymore, it's spread across your different lines of businesses in the organization. And we are there to support that in conjunction with other products like business workflows. And they are building, they are building products on top of digital workplace, like microsites, landing sites, new hire portal, and so on and so forth, right? So we're going to be very collaborative in that effort, and digital workplace is the go-to place for all digitization efforts moving forward for your organizations. Now, in this session, we will be touching on what features have we introduced in 22.104, 22.105, 06, and 07. There's already been a webinar on 22.1. If you would like, you can always reach out to our communities and find out what was there for 22.1. But then this is more on the patch releases, because BMC has started releasing features now as part of the patches, right? And customers will be benefited by just upgrading to a patch, and they will get all of these features. So we'll be focusing on that. As you can see, 40 plus features were introduced in 22.x, right, in this release, and then 49 plus features in 21.x release, right? And as you can see in these patch releases on the left hand side, if you can see, we have introduced 15 features. 50% of those were actually based on community ideas. So we are listening to you. I personally get onto calls with customers, with some of you, talk to you. If you want really some opportunity to discuss this with me, reach out to your customer success team or to your account manager. I'll be happy to jump on a call. Ideas is primary focus for us at this point because we really want to enable you all. And I'm also happy to say we're also going to be releasing 12 new features in our upcoming release. So as you can see in this shorter span of time, we have over 100 new features, a lot to digest, right? And I totally understand. And that's why we really want to have these more collaborative sessions with you. So without further ado, I'm going to stop presenting and I'm going to hand it over to my colleague, Rich Murphy, to basically take you through a quick demo of all these features. So over to you, Rich, now.
Thank you, sir. Let's see if I can get a screen shared here for you. Here we are. Please let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes, it's good.
All right, thank you. So hopefully everyone here is familiar with the Digital Workplace Studio, which you use to create the appealing pages and target your audiences inside of Digital Workplace. All the functionality that you see on my screen and will be seeing here as we move forward has been created using one of these pages in the Digital Workplace. So I'm going to go through a few of the new features that we have available for you right now. The first one I want to talk about is to-dos. Using the to-dos, using the studio, I've added a new activity, an activity component, and I filtered it on to-dos. To-dos are now, they're tasks that are assigned directly to the end user. The end user can then view those tasks, work on them, and complete them. We can open up a task that's assigned to me, add comments to it. I can see what I have to do as far as the task. I can add pictures. I can put attachments on here, leave my comments, and then mark it as complete. And inside the process, on the back end, the person who has created that to-do for me can now see that the tasks that I have been assigned are completed. Think of this as such as a new hire. You're bringing new hires in, you're walking through the process, everything that you have to get done with the employee. The employee has to do things like paperwork and assign this and do this and that. All of those tasks can then be assigned to that employee for them to be able to get in, check off the list of what they have to do, and complete the process. Let's see if we can pull this. You can view this as a list if you want. You can view this as the cards. It's whatever your preference is. You're able to filter on this now. If you filter on these, you have a new option, select all, status type, and underneath type, you have the to-dos. It's important to note that these to-dos are created in business workflows, such coming from like HR service management. You can assign a task with type to do in your business workflows, and it'll show up like you see here in the end user's view. Moving on into some more studio enhancements that we have repeatable questions. We've had multi-loop options for a while. You can design a workflow process to grab data from a table, multiple select table, and then fire a process against all of that data. If we see like a spot bonus multi-loop here, when you open this up, we do a request for this. I'm going to use this as an example. I can select multiple people from my list here, add justification, giving a bonus. And in the background, it's going to take these two selections from my table and create two different fulfillment requests in the back end using the data from the two questions I answered. Refresh here. So if I open this up, I can look, I can see that I have the excuse me. I have the activity has been created to have my spot bonus put in, but I don't have a whole lot of flexibility on how I'm going to put all this together and do different things for different people at the same time. So what we have done is we've created repeatable questions. The repeatable questions work in the question portion of the request. You do this by creating a group of questions under like an umbrella. If I open up the with the repeatable questions, the same example here, I now have it set so that I can choose one person. We're going to go ahead and we're going to take this guy. We're going to put him in here and we're going to give him $500. Put this on here. We're going to select the 500 and we're going to add another one. Add response. Now I can take the same questions. I can pull a different person out of here and tell them I want to give them some justification of $1,000. We're going to put 1,000 on this guy. And now when I submit this, the process is working like the multi-loop, only it's using dynamic questions and feeding the questions, the different specific questions into that workflow to create the same type of actions that we would do based on selecting from a table. If I flip over to catalog here, we can see how this works. I'll go ahead and open up the repeatable questions here. I'm going to go into the questions here first. We're going to open the questions up. I've created an object. I have a process question called nominated people. I've set this up as my umbrella question, if you will. And I've added all of the questions that I want to process separately underneath this umbrella question. If I open up the properties on this here, so we have an output format of object. So your process question is now an object containing data, and it streams this data together kind of like an array, and passes this into the workflow and processes it question by question by question, selection by selection. If we go into the workflow itself, let's close this out of here, back into workflow. I've called a sub process, and basically calling the sub process, my input variable is my object that I'm passing in. When we go into the process itself, I've set up the multi-loop instance, and I've created or I've added my process as my loop data. And I'm going to take those questions, I'm going to fill them out one by one, and I'm going to create a fulfillment record in the back end specific to each person that I put into my multi-select questions. If I can bounce back over here, let's go back into my page. We also have validation now. We've added the function of validation to check the data that you're submitting before it actually hits the fulfillment record. So in the past, you would put something into a text field or a text area, and basically it didn't get validated until it was actually submitted, and you had an agent pick it up and say, this information is incorrect, I can't do this. If we do the validation now, such as creating a new user, we want to give a login to someone on a different application. I can say this is Bob Barker, and his login ID we're going to use Seth, since that's who I'm logged in right now. If I put Seth in here, the validation should run. There we go. It's coming back and it's telling me I can't use that. Somebody's already picked this item. Okay, so I'm going to add this to the end of it. Now it's coming back and telling me I'm good to go. I can submit this through here. If we look at how this works from the digital workplace side of the house, I'm going to come in here. We'll search on our there we go, new user with validation. I'm going to open this up. If we go into the questions, this works on the question side of the house. You're down to the field that I'm using to validate on. I have validate login ID. It's a process question now. And you can see I have the external validation enabled. If I open the properties up on this, I have written a validation piece of workflow in Innovation Studio. I can now call that validation workflow inside the questions to validate the data that's coming into that I'm using in that question. I also have the ability to put a generic error, put some sort of error message on there to instruct the user on how to proceed if the data they put in there is not validated. Again, any process that you want to write inside of Innovation Studio, you can attach that now to a question and validate the data that's going to be used in your fulfillment record. So that's something that's pretty handy that I know in the past that I've run across, and I'm glad that it's there now. Let's go back into my page here. If I move down a little bit further, we have added a broadcast API now to Digital Workplace. You can use this, it's a REST API. You can make this call from third-party apps, external apps, or in this case, we're doing it right from Digital Workplace. In this example, I've used a service. I've created a service to submit a broadcast. I can open my service up here. I can type in some information, test. What is the broadcast message you want to send? This is a demo. I can put in a list of users. I can target people specifically for this broadcast. Go ahead and put Seth in there. We're going to set some time up. We'll make this fire tomorrow. We'll make it end on the day after. I'm going to set this up as an informational broadcast, and I'm going to submit my request. Now, if I jump over to the Digital Workplace admin functions and we go into the broadcast portion of the admin functions, if I go, this has now been added right to the very end of the broadcast and will be submitted or will be active when I chose October 27th at 12:22. So we have that availability now to add broadcasts right into the system. Back up to my page here. Some studio enhancements. We'll move on to the next one. We've added some enhancements into the studio for designing pages, like what you see on my screen right here. We've been able to, I've created customize the appearance of catalog sections now with the smaller tiles, or you can use the larger tiles if you want. You have the ability to add drop shadows. I can remove those shadows, and all of this is available inside Studio. Give you a little bit more flexibility in the designs, creating your pages. Another thing that we have added is an asset filter. You can now filter the assets, such as in the My Stuff page or in an asset group that you've put on to one of your pages. If you have someone that needs to see, in this example, like all the printers to do their job, you can make that happen. You can put an asset block together that has all printers in your company listed. However, you could flood the user with more data than necessary. Let's say they only need to see what's available in North America. We can now create this asset group and filter it on only assets that are coming in from North America. We can put this in front of the user and help them get their job done and do all the sorting for them. If we flip over into Digital Workplace, I can show you how this works. We're going to back out of here. We're going to go into, where's my asset groups? There we are. Asset groups. What one was I using here? The Americas printers and scanners. We're going to go ahead and open this up. You can now see that we can add the filters here that we need to pull this information down and tie this to a specific user for what they need to do. You can add this into the My Stuff or an asset group block on a page itself. Let's go back over here to my page, back up a little bit. Another feature that we have added are buttons, or an enhancement to the buttons, I should say. We've always had the abilities to put a link on there, a URL that can take you to another page. We now have the ability to tie that directly to a request inside of Digital Workplace. So if I hit the button to the onboarding request, it's going to take me right to an onboarding request to get something done without having to search for it. I can also come in here and tie it to a bundle. If I want to do a guest site visit, tie this to a guest bundle where I can bring in what I need, put the bundle together right from a button, and you can add that right to one of your pages. Let's see what else we have here. Sample pages. We have now added sample pages out of the box to give you an idea how you can design a page for different verticals, different lines of businesses. You can use these templates as is, or to get a new page up and running, or you can use it as a template to modify a little bit. The idea is to help you get started quickly without having to do it from scratch. So a couple of examples we have here. This would be for like an automotive. This is something that could that you could possibly set up. We have one in here. If I scroll down again, so maybe fashion. We have these right out of the box. You can use them, modify them. We have a couple of things tied to them just to get you up and running quickly and on the go. We've also added a content pack. We have offered out of the box content packs to help you get started quickly when you're moving into digital workplace, but we now have one that's IT focused. It includes like an IT Central page, landing page, and some common catalog items that follow best practices, templates, workflows, and such to help you get off the ground and get running quickly, specifically in the IT world. As you can see all these on the page here, again, this entire page was done with Studio. So we've really made it easy and actually professional looking to stand up your pages and focus them to your customers, and some of these new features to go with it. Right at this point in time, I'm going to send it back to Deepak to answer any questions, and thanks for having me along.
Thank you, Rich, and we'll take questions at the later stage.